Hey Aries, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading. These are general readings, so we take what works and leave what doesn't, as with everything in life. And if I don't catch your storyline here, or even if I do, go check your other major placements, see if we can't connect over there also or instead. And I'll be posting pictures at the end of the spread. And yep. All right. So we're starting with the Oracle Mystical Moments deck. And this deck has a lot of wisdom just kind of in it inherently. And some of the cards seem to relate to situations, and some of the cards seem to relate to just general ideas. So if it's a card that's relating to just a general idea, then it's just like tarot wants you to, or the deck wants you to that's an idea that's coming up for you, to focus on that idea. Because there's some that are situation specific and some that are just kind of, here's a concept. Have you thought of this? So, all right, Aries. Oh, we've got twinsies here. I never noticed that. These girls were twins. They're both wearing blue dresses with big black hair. All right, so we have White Rose of Hope. This is sort of being really in touch with your own hopes and your own dreams, maybe a little bit private about them. This card has a hermit card to me, like a bit of a hermit vibe, because you're just really internally looking to your own vision and your own ideas for what you want in the future. So, I mean, it's a pretty self-explanatory. There's something you're hoping for. It's been on your mind. I think you might be riddled with doubts about its possibilities. So this is a reminder to hold that hope, be focused on that hope. Those doubts will be there, of course. They surround everything, and they almost define hope by contrast, and faith by contrast. So, you know, if there's no doubts, is it faith at all? Doesn't faith require some level of doubt? Anyway, so you have this hope, this white rose of hope, a very pure, private hope that you have, a dream that you have. You're very in touch with it right now. And then you have liberty. So this is also referencing a dream, a long-held dream. And I love how they're both in blue dresses, and here we have a white rose, and here we have a white dove. And this is a dream that you have, liberty, being able to leave a situation or move forward or move at will. And this, your cage door is actually open. So that's what's confusing about this card. It's not really confusing. It's my Shawshank card. When the doors of the prison are opened, but you're so used to being in that prison that you're not aware that you can leave it now. So there might be a little bit of enticement, a little bit of confusion as you step on this threshold into a greater place of liberty. A long-held dream to be able to leave some sort of cage, some sort of stifled situation where you haven't been able to be free or to be yourself. But you are here on the threshold. There is some action still required. You may not be aware of how free you actually are at this point. You may not be quite aware of it. In fact, you may be hoping for this freedom, and it's actually already here. The cage door is actually open. You're just struggling to see the opportunity, see the opening, and take it, because you have been in doubt or in caged for so long that it might be a little bit difficult for you to even see that there is an opening here, that liberty is already here, is already available to you, and it may be exactly what you hoped for is already here. You're just struggling to see it, to acknowledge it, to accept it, to take the step through the threshold into the freedom. So there is liberty here, liberty and hope. And then we have the Gardener here. I love this card, the Gardener. So this is one of those cards That's just true in every situation, but it's being highlighted for you to pay attention to this week. So the gardener is about how we nurture ourselves and how we take care of our own garden and how it does benefit the whole world and our whole community. When we grow really healthy carrots by weeding our garden to make sure that the things we want to grow get to grow, so we take out the things we don't want to grow, right? When we take those things out, and we make sure that only the things of our choosing get our attention, get our nurturing, get our watering, our nutrition, the nutrition from the soil, all the nutrients in the soil. And when we make sure that only the things that we want get those, when we take care of ourselves and when we take care of our inner selves, then we can bring our best carrots to market, our best fruits and vegetables to the market, to the community, and the whole community can benefit from the health of our gardens, from our internal health. So this is a card about taking care of your internal health so that you can bring your healthiest self into your community, into your families, into your friend groups, into your work groups, all of that. So making sure you're taking care of who you are and gardening here so that you can bring it out into society and into our communities, so what you're bringing is as healthy as possible. So that's the gardener. Yeah, it's White Rose of Hope. Pretty. All right, Aries. This is your past, your present, your inner landscape, what's at issue, your environment, your to-do list, and your possible outcome. That's really funny. Despite lots of shuffling, you've got some very similar cards to Pisces. All right, in your recent past, you have this 10 of Cups. You have an emotionally fulfilling situation here, very emotionally fulfilling. A lot of emotional happiness. Things have come to fruition that brought you so much happiness. This baby is only symbolic of the bringing of fruition of love, the full fruition of love, the baby represents the full love available. A situation is as emotionally satisfying as possible and has reached maximum emotional satisfaction. So that was in your recent past. Well, lucky you. Even if you don't get to carry this type of vibe forward with you forever and ever for the rest of your life, that you got to experience it, that sense of success, that emotional fulfillment, that deep love, that you got to experience that at all is something to really rejoice in and to feel very good about and to carry forward with you, that you got to have that experience. In your current situation, we have the 6 of Pentacles. So there's something about fairness, about generosity and balance, balancing things out, bringing things into balance. Maybe there are a lot of demands on you, on your time, and you're having to kind of dole out like 1 hour for you, 1 hour for you, 1 hour for that work, 1 hour for that work. And it might actually have to do with this card of needing to make sure that you're giving to yourself as well as your community, is that you're taking care of yourself as well as your community, because taking care of yourself is taking care of your community. So this is bringing some sort of balance into the situation. You may be experiencing some generosity. This card, in some decks, it's about like a bean counting generosity of like, well, you deserve, I have weighed you out and your deservingness out, and you deserve $6.23, you know, whereas someone else might be like, okay, 7, let's just make it 10. Let's just make it 10 for you and 10 for you, you know? So this card can either talk about generosity, so receiving it, you get to be one of these people in this card. You get to be the person bringing balance to a situation, bringing some sort of sense of almost justice, fairness to a situation, to people that are less fortunate, or you may be the one less fortunate in a position to receive. It is very important to allow yourself to be in a position to receive, which I think could relate to this card too, because it helps ensure that when you give not as a matter of superiority. There are some vibes like that, some people that get stuck in that energy where their giving is a way to display how much better they are than you, not really out of a genuine like let's redistribute some of the food we have here. It's everybody's food. It belongs to the earth. Let's make sure, let's redistribute it among all of us equals, maybe not equally perfectly, but you know, let's redistribute the food. Some people take that and they're like, oh, I'm so good. I have earned so much, and I have, because I am so amazing, and I am generous to you simply because it displays how amazing I am and how successful I am. And so when I give, it makes me feel successful. So not that kind of giving. We're talking about like a generous giving, a redistribution, bringing some fairness and some generosity to a situation. So that's something you might be experiencing right now. Of course, being generous to yourself is extremely important as well. If you tend to not be that way, this is a very trapped vibe here. So you may have been stingy with yourself, I want to say. With these other cards coming in, I want to say that maybe you have denied yourself something, and receiving allows for giving. This is such a flow card. This card is all about giving and receiving, and that whole wheel that turns like a water wheel, like a windmill sort of thing. Once it gets going, it goes, you know, the down is the up, the giving and the receiving, and then you give and you receive, and once you get that wheel going, it's very nice. So this is a generosity vibe, a getting of that wheel going of giving and receiving, and that whole getting that flow going. In your internal landscape, this one doesn't make much sense to me in the internal landscape, but this is how I set things up here. So this is the World card. You might be hoping for just something to change, something to shift, something to move, very external to you. This might be your hope, is that something external to you changes and shifts and allows some more movement forward. You might be very much hoping for a change of the seasons, a change of times. You might be hoping for a change such as somebody else opening up this cage. Of course, you have to be willing to walk through it. But maybe you are looking to that moment when you're willing to walk through something and you're just waiting here for the cage to be open. So you're waiting, your hope is for something external to happen, for the world to change a little bit. And then this is what Pisces just got in the issue. What's at issue is the Magician card. Something's not manifesting the way you want it to. You thought maybe you had all the tools assembled and you were going to be able to bring something into reality. You thought maybe, or you're thinking that you have everything available, so why isn't this happening? I wanted this to happen. This is supposed to be happening now. And it's not. And this is causing a lot of frustration. Maybe you're waiting for something external to happen. It's the last final piece in this manifestation, bringing a dream into reality. So that Magician vibe, you're waiting for something, you're wanting something needs to change here. Maybe you don't quite have everything you need and you know it, but there is something that you'd like to manifest and bring into reality, but you're waiting for something. And here's a waiting too. There's some waiting going on here, and there's some waiting and some frustration of something not happening quite the way you wanted it to, quite the way you needed it to. Something's not coming together. In your environment, you have the Queen of Pentacles. So there's somebody, this is a Queen card, so this is probably an actual person. There's somebody here that is very focused on what they have, on what's theirs, on their, what's their jurisdiction, I want to say, what they're in charge of, their money. Someone here is very focused on what's theirs. This isn't necessarily a possessiveness vibe. This is just like, yep, that's mine. Yep, I deserve that. There's a sense of entitlement here. It might be very well deserved too. So there is a sense of entitlement here with this Queen of Pentacles. There's someone here that feels very entitled to what they have, and they have it. They have it. It's theirs. There's not a doubt in their mind, because when you're queen, you know, you're not sitting there thinking like, do I really deserve this gold coin? Have I done? It's just by fact of who you are that you deserve this. So this is somebody in your environment that maybe needs to be a little bit more generous, but there's somebody here that has what they have. And and it's external to you. So it's someone you know, someone in your environment. They're very focused on their pentacles, on what they own and what is theirs and what they're entitled to. In your to-do list is to deal with some subconscious issues, which is what we're getting with this, and actually getting with this. I think there's a holdup here in dealing with some subconscious issues. It's the Moon card. She's got this roiling sea of critters down there beneath her. She's just up here looking at the stars, enjoying life, and there's this kind of this whole backlog of shit that she just needs to deal with. So the Moon is about lack of clarity, getting in touch with your intuition, but it's also about subconscious issues, shadow self work, the things that aren't working for you anymore. I mean, this could be about this gardening too. You may need to do some weeding, some internal weeding, getting some things out of there, cleaning out the gunk, getting some things out of there that will help the things that you want to thrive. Might even help bring in this manifestation, because there could be a subconscious issue that's holding it all back. And we've got this gardening card, so there's probably some internal weeding that you need to do, something inside of you that that maybe you haven't dealt with, because we're getting a sense of you just feeling stuck, but not physically being stuck, but just feeling stuck. And so it's an inside job. Your freedom, your liberty is an inside job, and there's something going on inside of you that needs to be addressed. Some sort of subconscious issue that is preventing you from possibly growing, moving forward. You know, this door is open, so all the physical issues are here. As with this Magician card, all the elements are here, but there's something missing. And that missing piece might actually be, because this message is coming through again and again. It's something needs to shift inside you. There's some sort of issue that you've buried that needs to be dealt with. That's creating a blockage for you. The problem isn't what's around you. The problem is your own garden needs to be tended to, and you need to deal with some of your subconscious issues, your shadow self. And then doing that brings in this Ace of Swords. A lot of realizations, a lot of understandings, a lot of clarity, a new beginning in communication and in clarity. Epiphanies and new understandings and new ideas. So it could be the final piece of the Magician here, but this is a beautiful card, the Ace of Swords, the beginning of something, some epiphanies, some way of shifting how you view something, how you see something happening. So it looks like this kind of, this work, this moon work, this shadow self work, and this weeding, looks like this could be bringing in some nice epiphanies, some realizations that's going to help you have a new beginning and sort of rectify some things, and maybe even get this Magician to turn upright. But you just need to remember, as you're doing your internal work, as you're working with the parts of yourself that you don't like, or some parts of yourself that you've buried a little bit, so seek help if you need that. That's always good to have some professional help there if the issues are big. And then it looks like that seems to be very clear in this reading. And there's something that needs to be flowing here, needs to be moving. You're kind of waiting for something external, but it's actually something internal that needs to shift and move here. But it's going to bring in a lot of realizations, but also will be changing things and moving things forward for you. So, all right, Aries, I hope that was helpful for you. Thank you so much for your likes, comments, and subscribes. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a wonderful week.